Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update for Pan Those Eyeshadows Remix Edition. This is the third update for Pan Those Eyeshadows. I have remixed my version of this project, but it was originally created by Alexandra Shostin. She no longer posts on YouTube, but I will link her channel down below. You can still watch her previous playlists for Pan Those Eyeshadows. I am working on 4 shades. 2 of them are randomly selected, and 2 of them are using Makeup by Laney's prompts. I must use each shadow at least 25 times if I do not hit pan. I do have some focus palettes I'm working on, and I've decided that if I hit pan on a different shadow in the same palette while working on the shade that I pulled in, that will also allow me to roll the palette out just to keep this project moving. I want to cycle through a lot of palettes this year. But that's enough rambling from me. Let's start off with the 2 shadows I have using Laney's prompts. So the one that's been in since the beginning, I got the prompt a palette with no pans, and so I pulled in my ABH Sultry palette, and I specifically chose the shade Pearl, which later I did kind of regret because it was competing for a different shade, but I will share with you what it looked like last month and then what it looks like today after 10 additional uses. So I have reached my 25 use goal on this shade, and really the dip is not that large. I have also been using Twig and Teak pretty frequently, so these 3 shades do have a dip going, but I have used this palette 25 times. Well, more than that, but I've used the shade Pearl 25 times since rolling it into this project. So I am going to roll a different prompt from Laney's list, but the ABH Sultry palette is still one of my focus palettes, so if the prompt that I generate will work for a shade in this palette, I still have the option to pull this back out. I do want to roll this in at some point again, maybe not this month, but I just want to continue to work on this and stop neglecting this palette so much. And I do want at least 1 pan showing in this palette by the end of this year, but this one is rolling out. At the last update, I generated a new prompt from Laney's list, and that was to choose an eyeshadow that starts with Q, and I only had 1 option out of my focus palettes that would work for this prompt, and it comes from my Kaleidos Club Nebula palette, and I had to select the shade Queen of Blades, which is very tricky for me to use regularly. I will put in pictures of what this looked like last month when I rolled it in, and then what it looks like after 1 month's use. I have only used this shade 3 times so far in this project, and I have also been using You're My Only Hope quite a bit as well, because this is a really shifty, beautiful, light purple shade, which goes amazingly well with one of my other shadows I'm working on in this project. So I am reaching for other shades within this palette, and once again, I do want to use Queen of Blades predominantly, but if by chance I hit pan in You're My Only Hope, for example, or even Nova down here I've been using quite a lot, then I can generate a new prompt. You get what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get more pans showing in these focus palettes by any means necessary, and using the prompts is just, it makes it more fun. We're now going to chat about the 2 eyeshadows that have been randomly generated from my entire eyeshadow collection. My Cosmic Beauty Winter Wonderland palette has been in for 2 months now, and the randomly generated shade is Blanket, which is a very light lavendery purple shade. I will show you a picture of what it looked like last month. That is after only 3 uses total. This palette was new when it got rolled in. And what it looks like now with 7 additional uses. I have used this shade 10 times so far, so we are at 10 out of 25 uses, or pan of course, and there is a little bit of a dip starting, but not that much. I have dips starting in other shades that I have used less. Granted, they are the shimmers, but even this shade Magical, I think I've only used twice, and there is more of a distinct mark in that than Blanket. I am not someone who really like swirls my brush or anything. I just kind of gently go into the shadow, which is why panning eyeshadow is so hard for me. But I'm just gonna keep on going. I do see a little bit of a dip. I need to use it 15 more times regardless, but I have had so much fun reaching for this winter, and I think a lot of these shades will make beautiful spring looks as well. And the second randomly generated shade was drawn in last month, and it comes from my Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette, one of my very favorite palettes in my entire collection. The shade that was selected is Pecan Praline. This is what the shade looked like when I rolled it in. There was some usage on this. Quite a number of shades in this palette have good dips going. I've used this palette a lot, but since rolling it in, I have used Pecan Praline just 3 times. It is less neutral than I was expecting. It definitely has quite the strong orangey base to it, and I do find that it doesn't have the greatest lasting power when mixing with other palettes. So I'm going to try to make more work appropriate looks using this palette with the neutrals, but even like Butter Pecan, Pumpkin, those pull very orangey. Even Chocolate up here is an extremely like warm red kind of brown. And I do love these kinds of shades. They're just not the easiest to create a good work appropriate look that's like really fast to do at 5:30 in the morning, you know what I mean? I'm happy to continue to work on this shade. I do see there is a dip starting to form, but nothing substantial quite yet. Oh, you can see there's a dip. I have been working on it. I will now, because I've been so bad I don't do swatches because I always forget, pop in a picture of what my color story looked like last month with these 4 shades that I just chatted about. We have quite a colorful vibe going on. You know what I'm saying? It's been a little tricky to use. I love color. I'm wearing this to work today. It's kind of minty, but I get bored using the same color every day. So I get bored needing to create like a purpley blue look every day. You know what I mean? Like I'll create a blue look one day, a purple look a different day, then a green look, that sort of thing. But I've created 10 purpley blue looks and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So at least the 2 pretty colorful shades in this project do seem to go well together. But at this point, I'm just rambling. Let's generate a new prompt from Laney's list. If you also use Laney's prompts, my numbers will not line up with yours because as I am completing goals, I am taking the prompt and moving it to the bottom of my spreadsheet so that I don't have to do any re-rolling or anything. So in my pretty random app, I have in the numbers 1 through 97 because I have completed 3 of the prompts so far. And the only one that's still like in the mix is the eyeshadow that starts with Q. So if I get that one for Queen of Blades, I will have to re-roll, and I will be choosing the eyeshadow from within my 8 focus palettes. Prompt number 26. That is a blue eyeshadow matte. Oh dear. Blue eyeshadow matte. I feel like that only gives me one singular option. out of my focus palettes. Just to recap, my focus palettes are ABH Sultry, Club Nebula, Dream Street, Modern Renaissance, Jackie Aina, Naked Wild West, Chocolate Bar, and my Makeup Geek singles. Only 3 of these palettes have blue eyeshadows, but so the Naked Wild West has this matte teal, which is exactly like Queen of Blades. I'm certainly not going to be working on both of those. The same can be said for Dream Street. There is a matte teal in here. I have a type, but I can only work on one at a time. So that leaves me with one singular option, and that is also out of my Club Nebula palette. And that is the shade 7 of 9. And this is more true blue anyways, rather than teal. So that is going to be the shade I'm going to have to roll in order to honor this prompt. So I will be working on Queen of Blades and 7 of 9. I'm a little nervous. It has about an equal amount of usage on it. So I guess I'm just going to keep on working on this palette as much as possible, and then again, if I hit 2 pans in this palette, I can roll them out even if it's not the shades that I'm specifically working on, though they are my priority, but at least they will go well together, the light blue and the teal, and also the light purple I'm working on. So the only outlier here really is the neutral I pulled from my Ice Cream Dream palette, but this works best for creating work looks. Okay, I'm starting to warm up to the idea. So this is my new color story. We got rid of Pearl, which was the most wearable, easiest type to use, and we rolled in a light blue. So we also have 3 mattes, 1 shimmer. I have a very challenging round ahead of me. I do hope to have 1 rollout every single time I update you, and I'm not sure. It's probably going to be Ice Cream Dream palette because I can use that one most often. So that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, I'm getting so nervous. It's okay. I can do it. It's just for fun. I have really liked the way I structured this project this year, so we're gonna go with it. That's enough rambling from me. If you enjoyed today's Pan Those Eyeshadows update, even though we technically didn't have a new pan, please give me a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!